All right, y'all. Hopefully, we are live. Uh, my internet connection is not the best right now. It's kind of going up and down, so I'm not sure if it'll work or if it'll be lagging or anything like that. Um, if anybody's out there yet, let me know if everything looks good and sounds good. Um, kind of wondering on the sound also because I'm actually got a mic setup going now, and I'm not sure if I've got it too loud or not loud enough or anything like that. So I guess we'll play it by ear and see how it goes. All right, we got one person on. Can you see and hear me okay? All right, says we're up to four now. Can y'all see me and hear me okay? My connection here is kind of spotty and I'm trying out a new mic. All right, IP says they sure can. So 5 by 5, so that's good. So like I said, I've got a microphone set up now, and I've also got manual controls to turn it up and down. So if it's too loud or not loud enough, let me know so I can adjust it a little bit. I'm hoping that, hey, Tamara, good to see you, and Dragonfly Ryan. Hopefully, this new mic will sound a lot better, and especially like when I play music on here and stuff. But it's actually not a new mic. It's one I've had for a long time. It's not a computer mic per se. It's one that we had when we were playing, in the band, different places and stuff. It's a pretty decent. It's not top shelf or anything, but it's a Shure brand, SHURE, PGA 27, and I think it was about $200 or something like that. And it's a condenser mic, so we would use that a lot when we were playing music because you can set it like the older folks did, like the Grand Ole Opry and stuff, where they gather around one mic. It kind of picks up in that kind of direction, so it picks up more than one person, and it picks up, the singing and playing of an instrument. And I used to record a little bit a few years ago. I had a program on here where you could record and burn CDs and everything, and I got this. It's a PreSonus Audio Box i1. It goes USB to the computer, and that's how I've got this mic run through. You can actually run two mics off of that box. It has one port that's powered for phantom power, which you need for the condenser mic here, and then it's got another port for like a plain instrument and everything like that. So, like I said, the internet looks kind of spotty, so hopefully I'm not lagging too bad. If it is a lot of lag and buffering, let me know and I'll go ahead and call it an early night. But if it's working, then we'll roll with it. Um, as y'all know, we live really rural, so a lot of times the signal kind of sucks out here. Uh, I went into Best Buy the other day to get a Wi-Fi booster, but the ones that I were looking at in my price range only worked for wired connections, like a wired router. And what I use is the Wi-Fi. I got a Wi-Fi hotspot, and then I've got the hotspot on my phone, which I'm using right now. Both of them are through Verizon, so sometimes it works all right, sometimes it don't. I did find a signal booster uh, at Best Buy, but it's a little bit more expensive. It was like $350 for the one room booster. The one that did multiple rooms was like 550. So I'm thinking about getting the one room and trying it out. So hey, Farmer Son, good to see you. They said that I have 14. Hey, Bacon, good to see you. Not a whole lot, just opening up. Like I said, hopefully I'm not lagging too bad out there. My connection's kind of spotty right now, so if I'm lagging really bad, let me know. Um, anyway, I'm looking at a signal booster, probably the one room just for where I film at in here. It's like 350 bucks at Best Buy, but it's supposed to boost the phone signal versus a wired router. So I'm thinking about looking into that. And they also said I've got like 14 days. If it doesn't work or doesn't suit me or whatever, I can bring it back. So maybe worth a try. Who knows? All right. That sounds good, Bacon. Like I was saying earlier, I've actually got a mic hooked up tonight. This is a condenser mic from when we played music. Not exactly a computer mic, but I have a box that runs it through the computer and everything. So if the volume's too loud or not loud enough, I can adjust it up a little bit. Um, so y'all just let me know on that if it needs to go up or down. I don't want to have it, blaring anybody's eardrums out or anything. But hopefully it sounds better than the mic that's just made into the camera that I've been using so far. And hopefully it picks up, the music and stuff better when I do that. But all right, I hope everybody's been doing good out there, and uh, you've been prepping and doing what you need to do to be getting ready for what may or may not be coming down the line. Like I said, I haven't been on very much. We've been extremely busy with everything going on. We've had the garden and the farm stuff and everything like that kind of comes in at one time. And also, we've been helping some friends do different things. One of my buddy's truck's been messed up, and been helping them with things like that, trying to take it different places to, get it fixed and whatnot. And also put a gooseneck hitch in my truck. It's a plate from Tractor Supply. I put a plate under the underside so I can pull his gooseneck trailer. And he does a lot of livestock hauling, so I put that in there to be able to help him keep up some of his hauls and things like that. So it's been a lot going on. Hadn't made a lot of videos. I've made some. I've got some footage that I need to put together and upload sometime, but at least having it recorded will be ready to go sometime in the future. So hopefully everybody's been doing good. Um, I guess at the moment everything is uh, relatively smooth, so to speak, or at least smooth as it can be at the time being. We are coming up on a lot of unknowns uh, with everything going on and the new strand coming out and how extreme they're going to take that. Uh, a lot of people are looking for more lockdowns, and I do see that being the case sometime this fall or going into winter, most likely. So try to have everything you need on hand. And another thing that we're looking for next year, um, I think that the corn shortage and grain shortage is really going to show up, where we've had a lot of drought and a lot of crop failures for the last couple of years. This year has hit really hard. I remember a few months ago, the farmers out in California were not even planning to plant anything because of the drought was so bad. So I really think this coming year is probably going to hit us hard on that. And um, we're looking into raising probably about 5 acres of feed corn this coming year to be able to make feed for the animals. And I got a grinder for the PTO of the tractor. It's an old hammer mill, so hopefully it'll do the job and be able to make feed. I've tried it a little bit. I hadn't, had any good feed corn to run through it, so I just run some of the sweet corn we had through it, and some of the old cobs where we cut the corn off and everything. So anyway, Uh, been a lot going on, as you know, with the tractor that we got, the Massey Ferguson that I was fixing up. It's still a long way to go from where I want it to be, but it is usable now. It cranks and runs pretty good. Um, uh, put back tires on it so it's a little more trustworthy. Did some wiring on it and really a lot of stuff. Put a new sediment bowl on it and the lift pump. I need to put some new front tires on it, but that's not a huge emergency. I did use the bush hog on it the other day, so the PTO works fine. I brought some of the hay stuff out that I got. Hey, World Without Rule of Law, good to see you in here. But I brought some of the hay equipment out and tried to go through it, see how much work it's going to be. The baler is probably going to be a little bit of work. I brought it out. The hydraulics on my tractor won't run it right now because it's an older tractor and it's only puts the oil one way, is what a mechanic told me. That it picks the hay mower up and down fine because it's just one hydraulic line on it, but the hay baler requires two, and it's got two on there, but it still won't lift up and down and do its functions. So I just got a new hydraulic valve today for the loader part. It's a two-spool hydraulic valve, control valve, and he told me if I hook that up, then I can run the lines from the hay baler up to the hydraulic control valve and work it that way. And something about how the oil will, run to the hydraulic valve, powering it, and then it'll uh, put it where it needs to be on the pressure wise from the control valve. So it'll be a little more awkward, and I need to get longer lines to run it there or some lines to connect in the middle or something. But hopefully that'll work out. But that's going to be a down the road type of thing. Also, here, as bad of a drought as we've had, it's probably not going to matter right now anyway because it's probably not going to be a fall cutting of hay. It'll probably be next year for the spring before really need the hay stuff, but hopefully have it up and going by then. And I want to get the loader going and everything like that sooner than that. Tamara, I've been canning meat all day. That's a good thing. Uh, we have some meat canned, but not as much as I'd like to. I prefer the canning over keeping it in the freezer, which we have more in the freezer than we have canned. But if you have a power outage or anything like that, or freezers will just quit working for whatever reason. And as long as it's in the can and in the jar and stored right, then you ain't got to worry about it no more. Uh, it'll last probably longer in the jar than it will in the freezer. Probably a year or two, probably all you want to keep it in the freezer. And if the jar is done right and sealed right, then it'll probably keep, 5 or 6 years or something like that. So hopefully we can get more on that. My wife's been doing a lot of canning and tomatoes. We've been had a pile of tomatoes coming in and doing different things with. And as a matter of fact, we got 3 5-gallon buckets to attend to sometime either tonight or tomorrow, which will probably be a tomorrow project. Um, we've been taking a mini vacation for a couple days, Friday and then the weekend, and then today and tomorrow. So we did some things with the kids, and they really enjoyed that. We took them to the zoo today, and that was fun adventure. Uh, they had a ball. We also went to Agricultural Supply after that, and that's where I got the hydraulic valve from. We plan to go up there from the zoo because it's not, it was like 30 or 40 minutes away from the zoo, so we worked that in. If you haven't checked out Agricultural Supply, they've got a few stores around. They're not near as big as Tractor Supply, but honestly, they've got a lot more than Tractor Supply does. And usually everything I've found has been a few dollars cheaper than what you get at Tractor Supply. They have a website you can order from. I'll make a post after sometime today or tomorrow or something like that, so you'll have a link to go to their website if that's what you want to do. They've got a lot of stuff for farming and tractors and parts and things like that. They've also got a lot of cooking stuff. I've seen a dehydrator there. They got big cast iron pots. They've all got up to I think it was a 90-gallon stew pot. Hey, Diabetic Prepper, good to see you in here. Appreciate you coming over, but I'm not trying to take anybody from Magic Prepper. He's been streaming on Monday nights now. I hadn't been streaming in a while, but of course he don't even know who I am anyway. But I didn't announce that I was going to be live tonight because I wasn't sure if it would work out or not. But anyway, here we are. I did a little bit of rework in the studio the other night, changing the camera around a little bit, changing some layouts in here. I've got a microphone hooked up now, and hopefully everything will be a little bit better. But anyway, like I said, I'm not trying to stream over or take anybody from him, but hopefully things are calming down now. Like I said, the garden's about over with, and hopefully I can get back to streaming. Plan on sticking with Monday night at 9 p.m. as normal. Hopefully I'll be able to stick to that schedule, and really it seems like about the only day to pick from. Seems like if somebody's streaming every night, anytime after that. So probably will stick with Monday unless we find something that works better. And hey, Orville, good to see you in here. Appreciate that. We love you too. Hopefully, the revival's been going good and everything. Yeah, bacon. I think it's not nearly enough people that really put any focus on stock and meat and protein things. I like to have it stocked up both ways, having it in the preserved form and on the hoof. So it's a good thing to have it both ways there. Diabetic Prepper, I might pick one in a minute. Try this microphone setup and everything. Like I said, hopefully it'll sound a little bit better than the built-in mics that I've been using and everything like that. Hopefully you've been doing good out there, and everything's going good for you, and channel's growing and everything. I really haven't hey LG, good to see you in here. I really hadn't had time to keep up with YouTube at all. Everything lately's been busy on my end after work. During work, I used to watch videos and be able to be in on live chats and premieres and things like that. But where we've been working for the last few months, it's over, down in the middle of nowhere, and there's no signal at all. I can stand in one place on the yard and make a phone call, but other than that, I don't have any signal at work. So, all I can play is downloaded stuff, music, and if I scroll through and find videos and download them and things like that, but I don't have any signal to watch new videos or be in premieres and live chats and things like that. So that kind of sucks. We'll probably be there at least another 3 months. Then after that, hopefully we'll move somewhere with normal signal again. I thought about getting a mobile signal booster, but they're like $400, so I hadn't been able to put that kind of money in, something like that. So I've just been going without pretty much. But good to see everybody in here. Hopefully everybody's been doing good. Hopefully everybody's been doing what they need to do. And as I say that, I see Orvilson gave away his chickens, so that's not good. You should have at least ate them, I guess. World without rule of law. Hopefully everything's been going good for you, and uh, y'all have been doing the things and getting together. And LG, how's things been going your way? Are you still where you're at, or have you made the move you were talking about? Or like I said, haven't been keeping up with anybody too well lately. The weather's been up and down. It's back in the 90s again this week, but I think it was last week or the week before last. It was really nice. It had cooled down a lot. It was like in the 70s, and I definitely enjoyed that time. It's starting to get now where, like tonight and stuff, it's nice outside. I started to drag everything out there and stream on the porch or something, but I wanted to try my new studio setup here. So, anyway, yep, World Without Rule of Law. Summer is a very busy time. Last year, I said that the winter would probably be a little bit easier, but we ended up working pretty much just as hard last winter. Hopefully, this winter things will be a little smoother since we've got a lot of the hog stuff nailed down. As far as this year, we've got the smokehouse already built, where last year we were trying to push and get it built and everything like that. So we'll see. We'll still have a hog slaughtering to do. I probably got 10 or 15 roosters to butcher, but I'll probably wait on to a cooler time to do that. Right now, of course, you could butcher them, but it'd be really hard to keep them cool and not from spoiling. You'd have to go and process them and uh, probably throw them in a cooler or the refrigerator or something while you're doing them, and then come back and bring them out and cut them up and do what you need to do with them. LG going good, no move yet. Got a verbal offer and acceptance on a place just a few minutes ago. Well, that's good. That's exciting. LG probably. We videoed one of the hogs we did last year, but I'll probably do it again this year, and hopefully we'll be a little better at it than we were last year doing it for the first time. Maybe we have a little bit of experience under our belt. And the chickens, we're going to try a different way this time. Last time we tried to skin them, but that ended up being more work than I thought it was going to be. So if you're just cutting open the middle and popping the breasts out, it's not too bad. But getting all of the meat out, especially the wings, that's really a pain trying to skin them. So we'll probably dip them in, scalding water or whatever you want to call it, and pluck the feathers off. We also got a buddy of mine got us a big plucker. It's actually made for like ducks and geese, but I think it'll work fine for chickens too. Instead of being a tub like a washing machine, like you throw chickens over in, it's real big and got it a row across where you stand and hold it. But I think it'll still work fine for the chickens. I got to get that wired up, and we'll try it when we decide to do that. I think it'll be a little bit easier for us, and also being able to keep the skin on there will add a little bit more flavor and everything like that. So hopefully we can keep continuing to get better and more experienced and keep doing the things. Hey, E3 Farmstead, good to see you on here. Definitely haven't seen you before, and LG sent you, so I really appreciate that, and I appreciate you tuning in, and hopefully you'll have a good time, and I'll have to follow you back if you've got a channel and everything like that. Like I said, I've been so busy and everything, I've been slipping on my YouTube thing and like trying to promote some of the smaller channels, which like I said before, I'm not huge by any means, but trying to help spread the word and make posts and things like that, try to help get other people exposure out there. Um, right now, I still don't have the watch time to be monetized, so I think I've got 31 or 3,200 hours. So we're in the home stretch. E3 is a brand new channel. All right, that's cool. I'll have to check that out and subscribe to them and all that stuff. But like I said, we we had a busy year last year trying to get things in place for this year, and that's what we've been doing this year is getting things in place for next year because I'm never satisfied. Uh, I really want to get the homestead and the farming part up and going, be able to produce more of our own food, and maybe down the road be able to sell some like farmers markets and stuff and make a few dollars off of that. But right now, we're trying to. I appreciate that diabetic prepper, but not quite there yet. But I appreciate you running the videos and watching and everything. Um, honestly, not live streaming for the last probably month or more has really hurt the view times because doing live streams really ups your view time a lot because it counts for everybody that's in, however long they stay. So if you've got 20 people stay on for an hour, that really adds up a lot. LG, I've got 31 or 3,200 hours. I forgot what it was, but we're in the home stretch. We need a little bit more. We need to get to 4,000, but like I said, when we do, we do. I know we'll get there, but it is what it is. Um, like I've been saying, and like I've been encouraging y'all, um, I really enjoy doing YouTube, and it's a really good thing. But I've had to set it on the back burner to be able to get things done. With the way we've been working later and not having as much free time and just trying to get things nailed down, and instead of making videos on them, I hadn't had a lot of time to YouTube. So that's what I encourage you to do, to be doing the things. If you got time to do YouTube, that's cool too, but if you need to set it aside to get practical things done, then that needs to be done. So like I said, we've done a lot. We've acquired a lot of things this year, and next year hopefully will be bigger. Like I said, the droughts really hurt us this year, but hopefully we'll have more rain next year. We're going to try to raise about 5 acres of field corn and be able to grind our own feed, because really the feed is um, really what holding us back a lot on being self-sufficient, because right now we have to rely on a feed store to buy it from. Also, it's more expensive. Um, right now, we're buying our feed for the chickens and the hogs in 100-pound sacks, 100 pounds at a time, and it's up to $20.25 versus last year when I first started getting into homestead, and about, see, what was it, about March, April, maybe something like that, of 2020, it was $14 and some a bag, and it's went all the way up to, it actually went up to $21 a bag. It's come down a little bit now, down to 20.25, but it's still expensive. I added it up. We go through about 400 pounds a week with the hogs and the chickens. We usually feed the cows and the goats something different. Usually I don't feed them a lot anyway. I let them graze on the pasture, and hopefully we can get more fenced in over the winter. But about 400 pounds for the hogs and the chickens. And like I said, that's $20.25 for 100 pounds. When I added it up, we'll go through about 20,800 pounds a year in feed. And right now, I added it at $20, not 25, but at $20 for 100 pounds, it's about $4,200 a year in just feed for the chickens and the hogs. So we really need to cut that down. Being able to make our own feed will help a whole lot on that. And before I forget it, E3 Farmstead, I'm in Virginia. And yeah, so I'm not sure exactly how much corn and feed what we're planning to grow will produce. So we'll be learning on that. I was able to get a cutting disc the other day. A buddy got for me at a auction for 180 bucks. It's not as big as I want. You know, I was hoping to get a 7 foot or so wide disc, but I think this is about 5. But it'll still work. It'll just take a little bit longer. I've got a 2-bottom plow, but I'd like to get a 3-bottom to make it a little bit faster and more efficient on that. We don't have a corn planter or a corn picker, so at the moment, unless we can come across a good deal and be able to get one of those, we'll be doing it by hand. Be making the rows like in the garden out here and planting it by hand and also picking by hand. But we'll see. It'll be a good amount of work, but hopefully it'll be better. It'll be a little easier. And Close the Arc, good to see you in here, buddy. Sherry, good to see you too from Alabama. We're doing pretty good, just staying busy. And E3 is in Oklahoma, and chicken feed here is about 13 50-pound bag. 6 chickens at the moment. All right, so on the chicken feed debate, I was buying the regular chicken feed laying mash to start with. Tell you the truth, I don't have a clue what it goes for right now. But when I was buying it, I don't remember if they were 25-pound bags or whether they was 50-pound bags. But I think they were about $15 or $16 for it. And I fed them that for a while. Mrs. Prep and Plumber, good to see you in here. Hopefully you're doing fine and your husband and your whole family is too. It's good to see you in here. But on the chicken feed, it is really expensive to feed a lot of birds that way. And mine actually got to where they quit laying. I think they were going through molting and everything are to whack. But an old guy told me that he fed his the same thing that I feed the hogs, which is 13% mixed feed. It's mainly corn and some other minerals and stuff mixed in. But he said that there was more protein in it than the laying mash, and it's actually cheaper buying it for, at that time, it was like $14, $15, $16 for 100 pounds instead of paying the same price for 25 or 50. Like I said, I can't remember how big those bags were, but we moved to that to save money, and the chickens actually went back to laying when I started changing the food to that same thing that I was feeding the hogs at 13% mixed feed. So we've stuck with that ever since, especially since we've been building the flock. I'd say between the big ones and the small ones, which of course all of them ain't, you know, laying and everything yet, but we've probably got about 100 chickens. We'll probably be raising some more before too long. We've got 2 incubators now. I think one of them holds 36 or something, and I think the other one holds 40 or 42. So we can really put a lot of eggs in there and try to get a big batch out of it at a time. And OFC, good to see you in here. And Mrs. Preppin Plumber took a break from YouTube, still not 100% back. I know how that feels. Like I said, we've been so busy and everything going on, I hadn't had a lot of time to YouTube and to keep up with everybody, but hopefully things will be calming down and we can get back to regular scheduled programming, if you will. B Charman's in here. Good to see you. And Jane prepping lately. Good to see you in here. OFC. And yeah. But like I said, we tried our hand raising some small turkeys that we got at Tractor Supply, but we ended up losing all of them. None of them made it. So I'm not sure if it's just how much different turkeys are to raise than chickens, or whether it's the genetics from Tractor Supply, because we've got a lot of chickens from there before, and we've had a lot of trouble with them dying for no reason. We've only got like one or two that's still living out of probably 2 dozen we bought from there. So I've also heard a lot of other problems having people having problems with Tractor Supply birds. So it may be that's the case on turkeys too. We may be able to get some turkeys from somewhere else and have some better luck with it. But for right now, we kind of moved away from it. We had rabbits for a while, but that ended up being a total disaster. Again, either we don't know how to raise rabbits or bad genetics, but we've done everything that we know to do and people's told to do to raise these rabbits, and every time we have a litter, we lose every single one of them. We probably had 6 litters that we lost all of them. The first litter we had, 3 of them survived, and we still got those 3, but we got rid of all the others. But I don't know if, maybe they were all messed up genetically or inbred or something like that. So we ended up just getting rid of all of them. We're going to try to start over with a new bunch sometime in the future, but right now with everything else going on, we hadn't got into that. I like rabbits, but they hadn't worked out for us yet. McMurray Hatchery is the best we've used for chickens. I'll have to check them out. Do you go there locally, or is that something you order online? And have you tried rats? Not yet, but basically a rabbit's only overgrown rat, so probably ain't a whole lot of difference. But we've got a few in the barn, and they're probably like that, your standard little rat. But we've got some meat rats running around over here in the field. They're probably about that big. Sometimes the cats go and catch 1 or 2 of them big boys and have a feast, but we hadn't got to that ourselves yet. But honestly, they'd probably be pretty easy to raise if you could keep them contained in something. And Ghost Prepper is into rabbits. Maybe he could give you some ideas. That is maybe so. I maybe need to talk to him. I've looked up a couple different channels that focus a lot on rabbits and try to get some tips. And we've got people in the neighborhood that raise rabbits, and one lady pretty much raises them and sells them for a living. And we did everything she said to do, and it just still didn't work out. So we're gonna try to regroup on that and start over with a new batch, and hopefully it'll do better online, and they ship them. I'll have to check into that. It's another channel on YouTube, which I don't really think he's a prepper or anything, but he does small farming. It's called Just a Few Acres Farm, and he's got a lot of Dexter cows, and he raises and sells those, and chickens and eggs and everything like that. So, I try to watch his channel and get some farming tips every now and then. And I would like to get into some Dexter cows. They seem to be a pretty good breed. They're not as big as Angus like I got, but they would be easier to butcher your own self like I want to do. And also they said it can be used for milk too. They're not as good as an actual dairy cow, but you can still milk them pretty well. And rabbits are easier in the winter. We did try to raise some through the winter, but it didn't work out there either. I did a video about rat micro livestock farming. I hadn't seen that, OFC. I'll have to check that out. That sounds pretty interesting. Yeah, farmstead. We keep ours inside, but they're pets, not for me. Yeah, ours is kind of inside, outside. They're under a shed, so it's it's a back wall on one end, and then it's open on the other end. So it's kind of hit and miss both. Um, they're not in direct sunlight or weather or anything like that. So it's it should be fine for them, but we haven't had very good luck yet. And Dexter is what I want to. Yeah, it's a few people around here that have them, but they're not very common. But I'd like to get a couple sometime to try. And Chris, I did fix the hydraulics. It's working normally now. Like I said earlier, it is a older tractor, and it doesn't have the hey Alf wheel, if I'm saying that right. Good to see you in here. Appreciate you coming in. And on the hydraulics, it is working normally for that kind of tractor. It's a 65 Ferguson, and what I looked up, I don't know the exact year, but they were made in 58 to like 60, 64, 5 maybe. They didn't make them too long, but anyway, the lift arms and everything's working fine. I hooked it up to the hay mower, going through it, and it done fine, lifting it up and down, but it's one hydraulic line on there. And the baler I've got is a round baler, and it's got two hydraulic lines, and it requires more pressure and pressure going both ways. And I hooked it up. It has two outlines, but it still wouldn't work. And I called my mechanic buddy that has worked on tractors his whole life, and he said that the tractor just won't do that. It's not designed for it. But if I hook the loader valve up, I can run the lines up to that and hook into that, and it will be able to control it from that, and it should work out. I got a new hydraulic valve control today. I hadn't put it on or hooked it up or anything like that, so hopefully in the future I can hook that up and get the loader back on it and be able to use the baler and everything like that. But the tractor's running good. I made a video a while back talking about it, that it seemed like it had a lot of water in the oil, and I thought maybe the head gasket was bad or something. So anyway, I drained all the oil out and cleaned it up and put new oil in it, and I put that Dyke brand, DYKE, I think it is, water sealer or whatever it's called, engine sealer, something like that. But I put that in there, and I let it run probably 3 or 4 hours, cycling it through and everything. And that seemed to take care of the problem. It's staying level full with water now. The oil doesn't look milky, so hopefully we'll be doing good on that. And Chris, I did put a new hydraulic pump in it. It's the old style belly pump, so it's a brand new pump, but it just still won't do what the modern hydraulics will do. You can hook a hydraulic pump on the outside, like a lot of people have on these older tractors. They have a separate hydraulic pump to run the loader and everything, but I'm just going to try running it through that loader valve, and hopefully it'll work out that way. If not, I'm not too concerned about it. I'd like to get a more up-to-date tractor sometime in the future, but right now, if I did like it is now, I'll cut and whatever with it, and If I need to run the baler, I can just go get my dad's tractor. It's a John Deere 1530. Still an older tractor, but it's a lot newer than this one and up to date. And it's the same tractor we always use to pull the hay mower and baler with, so I know it'll do the job, and I can always just borrow that. So not too concerned about it. All right, OFC, we appreciate you being in here, and you get you some rest, and we'll catch you later. Hey, Michael, good to see you in here. But yeah, been a lot of interesting stuff going on. Um, I learned a lot doing the tractor project and the hydraulics and everything like that. Um, After I got the hydraulics going and was driving it around a little bit, the fuel tank was really dirty on it, and it ended up cutting off and not cranking back where the lines got stopped up. So I had to drain the tank and clean out all the old fuel and different debris in there, and blow it all out and bleed it all back, which is not the funnest thing in the world. There's one downfall to diesels versus gas. When it runs out of fuel, you have to bleed the system back, the injectors, and everything like that to get it back going. But it wasn't too bad, but just a pain, and kind of got aggravated with it because it just seemed like as soon as I get one thing fixed, three more things wrong, and just how it goes, I guess. But anyway, um, the greenhouse did pretty good. We got a lot of tomatoes and different things out of that, but it just started getting so hot. I had fans in there to keep the air circulated, but it just got so hot and everything kind of just died out on me. So hopefully, I'm not sure when I'll start that back up. Probably, I don't know, October maybe. Start trying to get some things back in there to grow over the winter, and hopefully I'll have good luck with it again. Like I said before, last year was the first time doing a greenhouse, and we learned a lot and mistakes we made, and um, not staying hot enough in there, and not being vented enough when we put the propane in there, and everything like that. So hopefully this year we'll be able to do better. It was later in the winter when I got it up and going and everything planted. I'm hoping to be able to plant stuff in there while it's still kind of warm and have the plants established going into the winter, and we'll make them kind of ride out the cold. And as everything, you know, cools down and the weather and atmosphere changes, it'll be established more than a new seedling trying to come up and make its way through all that. So anyway, yeah, Sherry Woodrum. Here in Virginia, we usually have a pretty good amount of heat in the summers. It usually stays temperatures in the upper 80s or 90s for probably 3 to 4 months, maybe longer, maybe shorter, but usually you can count on it 3 to 4 months. And we have a ton of humidity, and so a lot of times we'll have temperatures of 90 with like a heat index of 100. So it really takes its toll. And being this dry this year, a lot of things didn't produce like it should. Um, the corn did fairly decent, but it didn't do as great. All right, LG, appreciate you coming on here, and you have a good night. And yeah, hopefully we can get back to business as usual and being able to stream here Mondays at 9 p.m. And hopefully I'll be able to catch your live streams if you're still doing them on Monday at, I think you said be 7 or 8 Eastern, something like that. So hopefully I can catch yours as well. But I appreciate you being on here. And yeah, we usually have a ton of heat and humidity. And this year with the drought, it's really worked on a lot of things. The corn did all right, but not nearly as good as it should have. Our tomatoes did better this year than they did last year. Last year we got too much rain and really messed them up. But this year the potatoes didn't do much. The beans didn't do much. The green beans, the snaps did pretty good, but the butter beans, the lima beans we didn't get anything off of them. They just dried up and died on the vine. So hopefully next year we'll have a better crop on that. Cucumbers did okay, but not great. And watermelons, cantaloupes really suffered. But that's how it is. You can't win them all, I guess. 6 p.m. Central. I think that would be 7 for me Eastern, if I remember right. I think Central's an hour behind. But anyway, I hope to check that out. Hopefully, all of y'all in here, if you want to go check out LG and try to catch her live streams and stuff, that would be cool. All right, Sherry, appreciate you being in here. Y'all have a good night. It's been kind of nice being able to get back in the live stream and take this time, because I really enjoy doing it and interacting with everybody. But you know how it is, life gets busy sometimes. But anyway, like I said, I've got the microphone set up now. Hopefully it'll sound better. Hopefully it won't be too loud. Like I said, if I need to, I can cut it down a little bit. This past Friday, I had to go and play at a funeral for a buddy of mine that I used to go to church with at, my old church that we used to go to when I was younger and stuff. And he passed away, and they asked me to come sing, so I went up and sang a couple songs there. And, everybody really enjoyed it. That church there, it used to be more older style, like I like. Then, the way things usually go. Some younger ones came in, and as the old preacher and things like that moved out, they had a younger, more contemporary move in, and the music as well. They play the contemporary praise songs and everything. That's all well and good if that's what you like, but that's not my style personally. And there's still a lot of older folks in that church that enjoy the older style music, but they don't really call the shots anymore. So you know how that goes. There's a place so dear to me where I'm born and you be my friend. That's your country church. And with mother we went on Sunday to spend. My friend, that's your country church. Precious years, memories. Oh, what joy they bring me. My friend, that's your country. As a small country boy, oh, my heart sees a joy. As a helping old country boy. Oh, what joy they bring me. How my friends that look out the girl. I'm alone for my friends that look out the girl. All right, well, hopefully that won't too loud, and maybe the sound blended better with the singing and the playing. Appreciate that. And congratulations on getting to 100 Diabetic Prepper. Like I said, I hadn't checked in on your channel in a while, so I'll have to go back and watch some of your videos and everything. I appreciate that, E3. Yep, that's right, Sherry. That's one good thing about the acoustic style stuff. It don't matter if the lights are on or not, it still works the same. All this newer music and everything is electric and all. It's quite a bit different. You know, you ain't got no power, you ain't got no sound. But let's see, we'll do a picking wildwood flower maybe. All right. Hopefully y'all enjoyed that a little bit. Nelly said 11th 5-minute alert. We gotta reboot. Things don't sound right to me at all. Yeah, Diabetic Prepper. I've always enjoyed that. That's the first one I learned how to pick and everything. So I play it right often. Uh, sounds pretty good. Under the Double Eagle. I don't know if I've heard that one. I'll have to check it out and see. I used to play all the time back when I was a teenager and all that, and before I got into prepping and homesteading a lot and had a little more free times, you know, when I'd come in from work, I'd sit around and play for an hour or two and stuff like that, where I don't really do that anymore. But I still enjoy it from time to time. Close the Ark, it went pretty good. Pretty pretty well for, you know, as far as the funeral goes. It's always a hard thing and a hard time, but it went pretty smooth, and I think the service was pretty nice, so I think it was a really good thing. Roy Clark song, I'll have to check it out. I don't think I've ever heard it, but I may have and just don't remember. Tamara says, agree with Nelly's World. Is it lagging out there or something? Because like I said earlier, my signal's going up and down, so I'm not sure how well it's doing. Yep. I really enjoy Ralph Stanley's music, and I've always that's what I grew up on listening. That's always been my favorite, and that's probably more the style I play. And Closed Ark said some lag. That really sucks. Hopefully next time the signal will work better for whatever reason, and like I said, I may look into getting that signal booster, and maybe it'll help along. And baking, I've been playing since I was 6. I learned how to play a mandolin, a little bit of rhythm and stuff, and then later I moved to the guitar because when I was 6, I couldn't really, reach the end of it to play and everything. But I don't remember exactly when I learned the guitar, but I played the mandolin when I was a kid, and of course it wasn't, hardcore consistent. I play with my dad and stuff like that. And then I go for a while, not play, get into different, kids things, video games and all that. Then I got really back into it when I was 14 or 15, I think, and started playing the guitar then more, and doing some singing and stuff. And then later on after that is when I learned to play the banjo, and uh, I played it off and on a few years, and then when I did the band, probably 4 years ago, something like that, when we were playing a lot, is when I got serious into the banjo and everything. But the banjo is definitely more difficult to learn, in my opinion, than the guitar and stuff was, getting the roll patterns down and everything. Yeah, I'm pretty, I think learning younger and learning as a kid, and even as a young teenager, it's easier for you to pick it up. You definitely have more free time to put into it than when you get older and everything like that. Coming in. All right, so the kids must be asleep now. My wife just opened the door, so hopefully we'll have a co-stream going on. You want to pick a song? Um, my wife's tried to play the guitar for a while, and pick it up and put it down type of thing. Maybe one day she'll play a song for you. Yeah, just hope younger somewhere. But yeah, if y'all could see the studio, it's a little crammed up here. This is an older house, and it was made really weird. A lot of you know chopped up small corners and everything. And anyway, in this room, I'm kind of tucked over in the corner. It's a little space, probably 4 foot wide here. It goes back. It's a little smaller in this part because of the way the closet's made and everything. So instead of taking up the majority of the room, I figure I kind of get over here at the way in the corner. So anyway, make it work. So let's catch up here. Hey, Kurt, good to see you in here. We're doing pretty good. Just been busy and doing all the things. You can cut it off. YouTube. Yep. Start with basic chords. That's what I learned on, and I play by ear. I don't play by notes. I learned with G, C, and D. You can play the majority of bluegrass songs with those chords there, and then the occasional A and E minor and everything like that. But G, C, and D is really the basic ones. Yep, that's right, E3. It does take up a lot of time. Diabetic Pepper says hello. Yeah, me too. I started playing and the chat passed me by. Yep, and it is a good hobby and a good skill. Um, like I said, if you have collapse and EMP power out and everything like that, it's still something that you can be able to do to pass the time, and morale booster and everything like that. You do have to prep strings and stuff like that, though, because they don't last forever. Back is killing me, laying in the house. It's not good. Hopefully that'll get better for you. Yeah. Learning to play, it takes a long time to learn, and especially to get it fluid, which I'm still not very great at anyway. But when you, the biggest thing when you're learning, you have to play it every single day. If it's not for 10 or 15 minutes, you have to do it every single day to keep it in your head, learning to do your chords. And then, I started learning the chord, and then I have to stop and reposition to change chords and, strum and change back and everything like that. But eventually over time, you'll get it. And then later on, once you get that down, your rhythm down pretty smooth, then you can incorporate singing. It is definitely a big step up to be able to do all those at one time. Yeah, power chords, you can do that, but honestly, I don't make those because I don't think they sound right in bluegrass. I make the traditional style chords and everything like that, but to each their own. Klingon Princess, good to see you in here. Working in the garden. Well, that's a good thing to be doing. I appreciate you listening to us in the background. But I think we're caught up now, so. All right. What you want to talk about?
Don't care as long as you give me what's up first.
You got hot chocolate? I ran out of coffee. No, it's good. E3, I'm not raising bees. Bee Charming, if they're still in here, does. But I want to get into that too. I hadn't got there yet. There's supposed to be a place coming in our local town that's got a lot of farm and homestead type stuff, and they raise bees and everything like that. So I'm waiting on them to get established and to get up with them to find out exactly what I need, and probably be able to get the bees from them, and they'll be able to give me tips on it and everything like that. So I'm hoping to do that in the future. Gary, good to see you in here. But anyway, like I said earlier, my wife's been doing a lot of canning on tomatoes and making different things this year. So you want to talk about what all you've been doing with it?
I've been making pizza sauce and pasta sauce and canned diced tomatoes or crushed tomatoes. You can have stews in the fall.
Well, we always just call canned tomatoes.
Got trout and milk, so that's fun. And I've got 2.5 gallon buckets downstairs.
Yeah. Kurt, on vacuum canning, I guess you're talking about like vacuum sealing the jars and stuff. I got into that a little bit on things like rice and dried, things, beans and stuff like that. But I actually took a pack of saltine crackers and put them in a jar and did that. We got the attachment for the Food Saver vacuum sealer, but I watched a video, somebody was talking about it, that's kind of, iffy, and also it wears your vacuum sealer out. So I did a video on it too, but they had a brake booster, and that's what I got too. You just stick it in the top of, there we go, stick it in the top of the, the attachment, you call it, whatever, where it vacuum seals the jar. You put your lid in there and you put that over the jar, and then you just stick that in the top. It's got a hand pump, so you can even do that off grid. And I usually pump it up to 15 or 20 pounds, something like that, and does a good job. Like I said, with them saltine crackers, it was 3 months we left them in there, and took it out, and it was just as fresh as the day they came out the pack. So I was really impressed with that. I know some people do some oven type canning too, but I hadn't got into that. Take orders. We might can do that. Some canned tomatoes, green beans, and pickles. Oh, it'll be fine. They'll take good care of it.
Yeah.
South Florida, the vacuum seal doesn't hold that long. I'm not sure how long it'll do, but like I said, we did 3 months on those crackers, and it did really good. And on the rice, we opened one of them, and well, actually, a friend of ours opened it, and they went flying across the room. So you may have to watch out for that. But anyway, we've done a little bit, but not a whole lot into it yet. E3, you still need the vacuum sealing attachment. What I ordered, I forgot where I ordered it from, but it was the Food Saver. They had the one for the wide mouth and the one for the regular mouth. And then you can just get a brake booster anywhere, Harbor Freight, or order from Amazon or local hardware store, anything like that. It's just a regular hand pump brake booster. Yeah, bleeder. It's not booster, bleeder. But yeah. Yeah, Kurt. That's what I got is the Food Saver brand vacuum sealers, and I just use the brake bleeder for it, and that way it doesn't wear out your sealer, and it definitely works for me. You know, I can't speak for everybody or everything, but it works for me. Like I said, I'll pump it to 15 or 20 psi pounds, and it works out so far. And I hadn't tried the oven canning yet. That's something maybe we get into down the road. Yeah. I ordered some Harvest Guard reusable uh, lids and seals a while back, like 6 months, and they were on back order and everything being like it is. They just came in the other day, so we hadn't got to try them on anything. But we've been using the regular lids, doing all our canning and stuff. So I'm not sure yet whether they'll work out or not. We've had the Tatler brand reusable lids, and it's really been hit and miss on those. The things that actually seal pretty good. We've got some green beans and potatoes down there that were sealed last year that are still holding seal, but the ones that don't seal, I mean, you know, several of them just straight out of the canner. You know, you let them set a day or so because they don't really pop like the metal kind, but I let them set, and then as soon as you take the ring off, they fall off, or they'll last, I don't know, a week or two, and then they'll lose seal. But the ones that truly seal really good, but they're very hit and miss. So last time we did 14 quarts, and it was what, 4 or 5 of them that didn't seal, so almost half the batch. So yeah, so that was really disappointing. All right, well, you have a good night too. Do you know how to say the name? I don't know the butcher right there. But I'm not good at pronouncing stuff. But anyway, I appreciate you coming in here, and you have a good night. But yeah, it's they didn't really impress me. They work really weird. You're supposed to put them on kind of loose. Put them on as soon as the jar starts turning. You put them in the canner, and then you run your canner, and then you pull them out. And I think it's while they're still, no, it's right out. You got to wait for them to quit boil, and then you tighten it. I have to look at the instructions again, but I think you wait for them to quit boiling in the jar, and then you tighten it down really tight, and that's supposed to seal it. Like I said, we've had uh, not the best luck with that. So I got the Harvest Guard brand, and I want to try them and see if maybe they work better. All right. Well, that's what we'll call you then, Elf Wheel. Well, you have a good night, and we appreciate you coming in here. Yeah, dry can seeds for the garden. Um, I'm really not sure on that, to be honest with you. I know from what little bit of research I did, the best way to store the seeds is in, a jar or in a Ziploc bag or vacuum seal bag or something like that, and putting them in the freezer. Uh, so the dry can, and I'm not sure about the temperature on that because, the colder you keep the seeds, the better germination rate that they keep through the year and couple years and everything like that. So what we did with our seed storage was put them in vacuum sealed bags and I put them in the freezer. So, like I said, I hadn't done a lot of research on it, but that's just the method that we went with right off. Um, I know I've been promising a lot of videos and I hadn't had time to put them all together, but one thing I want to do is a tractor comparison video from the big one to the smaller one we have. Um, the 65 Ferguson, I'd say it's about a mid-sized tractor. It's nothing. It's 60 or 65 horsepower, I think, or something along in there. At least 55 horsepower, but it's a older style. And back then, they made tractors bigger than they do now with the same size with the same amount of horsepower. So it's kind of big and bulky and hard to get around in places. Where the little one we have would be a subcompact, and it's pretty much an overgrown lawnmower, but you can take that thing anywhere. But I'm working on doing a video on that. May even be able to knock it out tomorrow. I don't know, but I've been bringing her in on it. We got some clips so far and the different things. So I'll let you give some background, but she hasn't never really been on tractors and equipment and stuff like that. And, I started off teaching her to drive the small one, then she moved to the big one and trying to get, it's kind of a good thing to get, like I said, this smaller one is an older style, so it's still, a manual transmission. It's not the ease of use as the hydrostatic like the newer ones are, but still to get her perspective, number one, being a woman and a smaller stature and everything. And number two, somebody is not, she grew up around tractors, but not on them and everything, and getting the different points between the two. And, like I said, not being used to it, the different, because sometimes the bigger equipment things are, more intimidating than the smaller size. So, I taught her how to drive them the other day, and today she did some disking for the first time with the small tractor, and probably tomorrow use the big tractor and everything like that. So I'll actually let you talk now if you will expand on that. How does it make you feel?
When I was growing up at home, like you said, we always had tractors around, but it was always kind of the men's job to be on the tractors and on the lawnmowers. And until we got married, I never cut grass before, so that was fun. I used to fight with a lawnmower. Then after we had children, we still used to fight with a lawnmower. But now being able to do, some of the things with the tractor, and feel like you're contributing and can contribute later, it's a pretty good feeling. And not being able to say, oh, I can't do it because I don't know how.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I want to teach her everything that I can, just for the fact that it's a good thing to know. And for another fact, that nobody likes to talk about, but it's possible I might die. It's just straight up how it is. One thing with the job I have, another thing is nobody's promised another day, but, especially from a prepper mind of, long-term collapse, EMP, whatever type of situation, if I'm the only one that knows how to do this thing, it's going to put her and the rest of the family at a serious disadvantage. So I want to, teach her all I can on that.
Yeah, and it kind of started off as, a nudge in the right direction. And I was like, okay, let me just do it.
You see what Kurt said?
I see that. However, if Kurt knew me very well, he would know that I'm the one that hushes up. Just like you. But that's okay too.
Trying to get her more comfortable with talking
And it's not just on here, it's everyday life also. Even friends that come around 3 or 4 days a week. Still family. Yeah, so one of the clips that you guys will see is from a smaller tractor to the bigger tractor. He says, hey, get her to try that one day. It's pretty much the same thing. No, it's not. It's completely backwards. Which I found out after I was already committed to it.
Yeah, because after the small one, you're like, yeah, I want to go ahead and drive it.
There's a better throttle, there's a different way.
Well, the thing that I was talking about is still a manual transmission with the clutch and everything. And, it's a tractor. You have to pull the throttle down where you want it versus, pushing a gas pedal. So that's why I'm like, it's pretty much the same, but I wasn't talking about the actual layout of the gears and all of that. But anyway, she still picked up on it, just took a minute.
Also, I'm never in the correct attire to have video taken. You guys will see that later as well. Don't judge for Mickey Mouse.
All right, Tamara, we appreciate you being in here. You have a good night. Hopefully we'll see you next Monday. All right, Bacon, you too. Appreciate you being in here. Yeah. Have you got your volume down on your phone? You pull it up now, and I'll see if I can see what's going on. Yep, Sherry. She has been driving it a little bit and everything, so hopefully tomorrow I can hook the big disc up and let her drive that one and get used to it. I wanted to put her on a smaller one, the smaller tractor and smaller disc today to get used to it. But like I said, she drove it the other day, but she hadn't done anything with the tractors yet. I figured discing would be a good way to start. It's pretty much, I think, the same way I started when I started doing it was discing the garden and everything. It's a lot easier than plowing or cultivating or making rows or anything. So we had a little bit of trouble today with the disc. A little bit of adjustments need to be made, but how'd you like that? The actual discing probably. Kurt, having a wood stove or some kind of way like that is a good option. Right now, we currently don't. We've had some people trying to convince us to get an outside wood burner, but I hadn't done that yet. We still need to do some more research, and they cost a lot of money up front too to get. But that may be something we travel down later. And if everything stays relatively normal as the kids get bigger and older and learn what not to touch, we may be able to put a wood stove in somewhere in the house, at least for backup. But it's a really good thing to have if you have the setup for it. At least having a wood stove in to heat and cook things on and all, but we hadn't done that yet, and we've been thinking about outside wood burner, but we hadn't pulled the trigger on that either. So anyway, on the topic of tractors, which one do you prefer, the bigger one or the smaller one?
I guess it depends on what you're gonna do. The small
All right,
one is-
E3, we appreciate you being in here, and we'll catch you next time, and I'll have to check out your channel. Yeah, we'll be praying for that surgery. Hopefully it's nothing too serious. So, oh, by the way, Orville popped on earlier and said he gave away all his chickens. But anyway, on which track you prefer?
So I guess it depends on what you're doing with it. Small one is definitely easier to move in the garden. So that's nice.
Yeah, honestly, if I had to pick only one, I'd have to go with the small one just because it's so versatile. You can't do the bigger jobs with it, but as far as small farming and homesteading, uh, it still didn't work out because the ground was so hard. But the other day, I tried to take it in the pig pen and dig out a spot, put a new water trough, and I ended up having to dig it with the post hole diggers just because the ground was like concrete. I mean, if you can see it, I tore a whole callus off of my hand there trying to do that. But the pig pen, as small as it is, I could still get the small tractor in there and do different things. Where the big tractor, there's no way I could even get it in there, especially if I had a loader and everything like that. But if I had a smaller one like that and a loader, I might could have beat through the ground and done that job. But if I had to pick one, it would be the smaller one. Um, it does do a really good job for as small as it is, but you know, that's what I would pick. And like I said, hey, Twin Papa, good to see you. But we were talking about earlier. We get caught up on everything, and the world stays the same and everything in a few years. It would be nice to get a newer subcompact that has better hydraulics and better weight and loader and everything versus our subcompact don't, because it would be nice getting into small places, cleaning out the goat pens and the hog lots and everything like that. And hydrostatic, it's easier to drive with the two pedals and all that. But anyway, on that, so
I want to jump back on the wood burner thing. I'm not very familiar with it, but someone that came to where I work at said that it's kind of got the water pipes sitting in throughout it, and it almost works like a radiator heater, but
yeah, like I said, we really hadn't got into it much, but they were saying that we could run the house off of it and also pipe it into the sheds and greenhouse or whatever and be able to heat it and everything. But they also said that the chamber burns out in 5 or 10 years or something. You got to replace it, all that. Like I said, I'm definitely not the expert on those things. We hadn't got into those.
I've also been told that it raises the cost of your homeowner's insurance, and sometimes it'll be dropped for it.
I know they definitely will on like inside fireplaces and wood stoves. It's definitely a major insurance deal with that.
We haven't had very good luck with wood stoves. themselves, but I used to have them growing up. I had a couple different instances, but it would turn out bad. If I could come on fire, someone was sleepwalking, fish kind of fell up against it, they get burned.
Yeah, like I said, us having small kids, we hadn't wanted to put one in. A friend of ours that has it, our littlest one got burned on it last year, and nothing serious. Everything cleared up and all, but it was very painful for for a few days and stuff on it. So that's one thing we stayed away from it. If we did end up putting one in, we would have to build a nice fence around it, to where there's no way they could get to it. Would be the only way we would consider it at this point. But as we get grayer and the kids are gone, maybe it wouldn't be as big of a concern. I say grayer because I've got a few. You ain't got any gray hair yet.
I don't know if you got it.
Maybe that's what I need to do. But anyway, on the farm updates, we've been really been doing a lot, but it hadn't really shown a lot. Like I said, I've been taking up a lot of time fixing up the tractor and the other equipment and stuff like that over the winter. If we have the extra money and time, we want to fence in the wooded spot behind the fence and give them more room to roam and some leaves and stuff to eat and all that. And we'd like to pick up, another couple cows or something like that. And we're planning to milk the goats if they ever have any kids. But we got one that we think's pregnant, but we thought a couple of the other ones were, but I don't believe they are. They're not showing it. But anyway, I like the goat milk, better than the store-bought cow milk. Up until recently, I hadn't had fresh cow's milk, but a friend of ours has a friend of theirs that, sells milk off the milk cows and stuff. And I really like that. It's really similar, I think, to the goat milk. So we're thinking about now getting a actual milk cow as well, because she started making a lot of different things out of the milk, the butter and all that. So you want to explain some of that?
Sure. Yeah. We usually get 2 to 3 gallons at a time. Just trying to catch up there. But I get the cream off top. You can make ice cream out of it. You can also make ice cream out of milk with eggs. I haven't done that yet. And make the butter, and of course, get your milk off of it. And into making butter for the church. So that's fun.
Mm-hmm. It was definitely a hit. The first time we brought the homemade butter, they almost got to fighting over it.
Definitely makes better biscuits to have it off of raw milk. Learned that our middle daughter does a lot better off of it. She has geographic tongue, and it doesn't seem to affect her like it does with store-bought milk. So that way she can get her extra nutrients and vitamins, all that good stuff also, and stronger bones. She needs it.
Yeah, our middle one really got the short end of the stick on a lot of things. She's I forgot what they called it, but her was it the ligaments were really loose?
Mm-hmm.
But she's had a lot of trouble with her feet, and she had to wear braces. And then she got we'll start off. She's got a hole in her heart, but it's not really serious. It was letting it close up on its own. But we had that, and then the things at the feet, the braces, and
She's allergic to most of the
medicines and everything like that. And then come to find out she's got this weird rare disease, geographic tongue.
And she's got a touch of scoliosis, and it's not a degree to be recognized as scoliosis just yet. And her hips rotate inward when she walks. So she's definitely a very happy kid, but
She's definitely the most upbeat out of all three of them, but she's got, a lot of things going on. Yeah, Kurt, with propane and everything like that, like I said, if you're able to get a wood stove and everything like that, of course, if you live in an apartment or something, it may not work too well. But other than that, I definitely look into that as an option, either a, regular stove inside or a outside wood burner. It definitely makes you more prepared. And twin poplar, that does sound interesting. I'd like to check into that because I was talking about earlier with the rabbits and things that we want to get some more and start over because we didn't have too swell of luck. Yeah.
I haven't been on here in a while, but I'm officially out of the loop.
Yep.
So that's awesome. Still quite getting used to it, but it's awesome. I think the rabbits are kind of we didn't research it enough first where they were coming from.
I appreciate it, Twin Pop. Yeah, we would like to get into rabbits again because if we get figured out, why we can't, get the babies to live and everything. Other than that, they're low maintenance, feed and water and dump the tray and stuff, and you're good to go. But in cages and stuff, we hadn't had as much trouble with them. They don't get everyone across the yard like chickens and hogs. But we just couldn't make it work.
There's a lady that is a customer of ours where I work at, and she raises rabbits for a living. She's been raising them for over 50 years, and she sells her rabbits for
Bank. Yeah.
$75 a piece for your standard rabbit, which she knows that they're good quality, so she's always raising them. And to talk to her and with a few others, we're doing everything the way you're supposed to.
Yeah,
And
like I was saying earlier, we talked to a few different people that's really into it, and nothing has worked out. So we just decided to start over.
it's kind of hard where we're at right now to pay $150 just for a pair of rabbits to try to start it out again, not knowing what the problem was before.
Maybe we just suck at raising rabbits. Yeah, Twin Poplar, let me know on that. We'll definitely check into it.
I think having a community is a good thing for it. We can have outreach on here. And also with where I work, I get to talk to a lot of people. So, small town, a lot of people become friends and then they're able to help each other out.
Yeah. Like I said, being a small town like this and where we grew up and everybody knows everybody and, it's small rural farming type community. So a lot of times, a lot of people either raise this stuff or has done it when they were a kid or, know somebody that does it or something like that. So it definitely, it's definitely an advantage in my book. I mean, it's really a hard place to hide as a gray man prepper. It really ain't going to happen. But at the same time, I don't think we really need to. And, it's people you've known your whole life, and people that raise stuff too. And I mean, you could just come together because, like I said, last year when we was trying to find somebody to slaughter the hogs, uh, there was only a couple people that would do it, and they were outrageously priced. And she was talking at work on it. Anyway, found somebody to come help us do it. So you go ahead and tell that your story. Or cut you off. But you're coming to help us and keep it ignored. Yeah.
Sorry, I was reading the comments.
Okay.
I guess I pressed on it. I'm a sucker for corny jokes, by the way, so you just make my night.
Yeah, and I'm not really, I don't do jokes that much.
No, the serious one. That's okay. So, yes, to do the things. It was a guy that, well, his dad has been coming to my work for quite a while, and so is he. He's more friends with my brother than me, so it's kind of one of those things.
Again, small town. His dad was a school teacher and all that.
Yeah, but he said, "Oh, well, let me know when you want to do it, because I'll come do it for you." We had no idea what we were getting into. None at all. We thought we did, but we didn't.
Yeah.
So he ended up, he was leaving the old hunt for a couple days. He came back, and as soon as he came back, he got up 6 hours later and come down and put 2 of our hogs down and showed us how to process it.
Yeah, he did bite off a little more than he could chew in the beginning because she showed him pictures and stuff. Like, oh, we'll do all them at one time. And there's 4 of them. And then he got there and he said, they're a whole lot bigger than they look like in the picture. But,
And it was raining.
yeah, we did 2 of them when we really should have done 1. But anyway, it was raining, mud everywhere, slipping and sliding. And, perfect time to kill a hog, I guess.
Yep. And of course, me being mama, I'm like, it's the only time I have to do it. I need to get it done. Let's just go ahead and do all 4 of them, and I'll stay up all night if I have to. Make it work. It's cold enough. It's not going to ruin. Oh my gosh!
We still stayed up all night, but on 2
We've been working on this house for 3 days. Just those 2, and we did the rest of them.
Yeah.
The third one was an absolute nightmare.
We had a lot of help from people in the tribe and some from church and things like that. And if it weren't for that, I don't know what we would have done.
Yeah, definitely. We do have a community. This year we have someone that's down in the community that has another grinder. So now we'll be able to run 2 grinders this year. So that would be nice.
Like I said, small town things. The guy that came and did the hogs and stuff, we had a stew up at his house, a long time ago now. It wasn't too long after that, back when it was still cold and all. And, his relatives, I've known since I was a kid and everything else too, all kind of community. But we was all talking and stuff like that. And, they was telling us different things. Because they raise hogs sometimes too, and they got a big industrial grinder hooked up like 220 or 240, whatever they call it, electricity now. All right, diabetic, good to see you. Anyway, they say, we're welcome to use that. It's a lot faster and all. And getting back now, the other night we went to an auction sale. They have it every week, but we don't make it every week. But they were there, and I was talking to them on their feed thing. And they, I told them I had that hammer mill grinder. So, oh, you got that? And they said, well, I got some field corn. I'll say if you need some, make some feed. So we hadn't talked on the prices and everything on that, but need to do that. But they, farmed all their life, so they got a little more farming set up than we do. But like I said, I just don't see how you can beat living in a rural community like that, especially if you're going to be, prepping and farming type of stuff. You might get away with, regular prepping and, being gray man and everything like that. But to go all out on the homestead, and you're not going to be able to hide that anyway. Sherry, tell you the truth, I don't know how many pounds we got out. We didn't do a very great job of keeping up with that, but it was, I think we kind of added it up with all of them together instead of out of the individual ones. But the biggest hog, we didn't have a scale, but this guy's been around hogs all night. He said that it was over 600, and then it was a couple of them, I think, like 475 or something like that. But we ended up that the biggest hog, the two hams, was 50 pounds apiece off of that, and I think the shoulders were 35 pounds, 35, 40 maybe. I think it was 40 or so. Yeah, the smallest ham was about 35, and I think the other ones were about 40, 42, something like that. And we had big slabs of fatback and side meat, which we didn't really weigh on them. And I forgot how many pounds of sausage it was. It was over 600 pounds of sausage, and we still kept out a lot of the pork chops and the things like that. You know, if we'd have ground it all whole hog sausage like a lot of people do, we probably had at least 1,200 pounds of sausage. But
the guy's been doing it so long, he's talking about how he knew how much they were by hanging weight. Mm-hmm. But also, when he cut out the hams, he handed it to him, and he was less than half a pound off.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's pretty spot on. But like I said, he's been around all his life, and he goes off doing a lot of hog hunts, with these wild hogs and everything. Yep. But I'm looking forward to doing it again this year. I really enjoy doing it. It is a lot of work, but it's really rewarding to be able to do it yourself and to be able to teach the kids. And right now, the kids are, a big sponge. They're taking it all in.
All fun until the water freezes.
Yeah. Yep, that's right, Kurt. Ain't nothing like, beans or, snapped green beans, anything like that, cooking them with hog meat in there. It's definitely a difference.
So at the beginning of last year, the only pork that we had in the freezer was whatever we picked up on sale throughout the grocery store. It's something that got shifted to the bottom that, whoops, it's been in here for a few years, like it's freezer burn type of thing. So we really have to stock up on that for ourselves. So this year we'll be able to sell more. We'll be able to process more and can.
Yeah. Yeah, we can some of it out of it. Like I said, I really like to can more just because it's more dependable. You don't have to worry about electricity and if the freezer goes out or anything like that. So it's definitely a lot of benefits of it.
Going into canning meats, I was super nervous about it. Always growing up being, don't leave me out for over 15 minutes. 30-minute drive home from the grocery store, you need to put your milk in the cooler, it doesn't matter what time of year it is. We were very strict on that at home. So it's pretty different on a lot of things.
Yeah.
And the chicken looks really good in a can.
And we ate some out of the can, and I thought it came out really good.
Super easy chicken to use.
Mm-hmm. And it moistens it up and it gives it a good flavor out of the can like that. That's pretty interesting, Sherry. So another thing we want to do this year is put in more, I don't know if you call it permaculture type things, but get some more fruit trees and, maybe berry vines and stuff like that. We planted some grapevines this year, and hopefully they'll come back next year and do good, and some blackberries and stuff like that. But we have a lot of wild blackberries, but we want some tame ones where you don't have all them thorns and they get bigger and stuff. Because the year before last, we got a pretty good amount of wild blackberries. We had a lot of rain and things. And this year has just been so dry and hot, they just all dried up. We didn't get anything out of them. I mean, you could have went and picked a few handfuls here and there out of them, but it wasn't worth the trouble. So hopefully we can do more of that. Our apple trees finally got apples this year. Sherry, we know a little bit about it. Really, the only thing we smoked is hogs, but we did that, and I did some videos or one video on that this past year. The way I always grew up is we raised the hogs and we took them to a slaughterhouse where we did our own this year. But we took them to the slaughterhouse and then we brought them back and put the hams and the side meat, and the fat back and all that kind of stuff in the salt box for 6 weeks, and then you take it out and smoke it. So we did that this year. We slaughtered our own, and we put all the hams and the side meat and the hog jaws and all that kind of stuff in the salt box, and then we brought it up about 6-7 weeks, washed the salt off, and seasoned it down with black pepper and red pepper, and hung it up and smoked it. We built a smokehouse last year and got that done, and I think we smoked it 17, 18 hours, something like that, maybe 20.
That's if you're still going to be cutting up the ham and freezing it.
Yeah.
And as we learned that some of the bigger hams to get all the way to the bone, it would not make it if you let them hang.
Yeah. And what we did is we skinned the hogs and everything, which the older folks always left the skin on, and they put them in a scalding tub, get the hair off and stuff. But our hogs were so big, that'd be near impossible anyway. But we just skinned them and smoked it and everything, and because they would leave the skin on and do that to where they could, they'd still have stuff hanging out there now this time of year, all year long.
We also didn't use red pepper, we used black pepper more.
Yeah. But what we've always done is black pepper, red pepper, and smoke it. And then, it'll still last hanging up while it's cold and stuff. Just when it gets warm, it'll get bugs in it and stuff. But we went in and sliced it and processed and did everything with it. What we do is I think it's called a hot smoke, but we use a lot of heat. Some people will take and smoke the meat 40 hours or more, just real low heat and everything. But what we always do, and like I said, I'm kind of a traditionalist. That's the way I grew up, the way my dad showed me, and that's the way I do it. I'm kind of hard-headed sometimes, but anyway, we have right much heat. When it gets warm, that meat will start swinging on that piece of wire. You got it on the nail and stuff, it'll start swinging, and it'll start having the grease and stuff come out of it when the pores start opening up and taking in that smoke and heat. And that's what we do and preserve it that way. We usually get it done about 15, 20 hours versus 40 or 50 or 60 hours doing it the just smoke way. It's an old guy that used to get meat from us when my dad did it. He decided he was going to raise some hogs and do all that, and he made his smokehouse with a room over here and a heater out here and piped in the smoke. And I don't remember how long he smoked it. I think it was about 30, 40 hours, but every piece of the meat ruined because it won't no heat to open up the pores. It was just smoking on the outside. Just a disaster. But like I said, I don't know if it's the best way, but it's the way we've always done it, so that's the way I do it.
There was a lot of learning curves this year, new building, new smokehouse. We did the open fire and we lost a couple pieces of meat to it. And next year we might try to do a grate over the top of it. That way if anything falls, it reduces the risk of fire spreading.
Yeah,
We lost a whole slab of bacon this
yeah. I mean, you win some, you lose some. It's all a learning experience. But yeah, that's the way we always did it. Was over open fire and a pretty good amount of heat. Uh, like I said, the different. I don't know exactly how long it'll keep doing it that way and without the skin on it, but yeah, they would keep a year or more with the skin on it and smoked that way and kept it like a dark room or something like that. But usually we'll smoke it and go and slice up the meat, put it up and everything.
which we didn't do it that same day or even that same week because it was still cold. And
Yeah.
I think some of it took about a month for us to be able to put it up under the hands on.
Yeah, like I said, with doing it that way, I ain't, got no problem with it at all during the cold times. I mean, till it gets up in the 60s or something, I wouldn't worry about it. It's still perfectly fine, hanging up in the uh, smokehouse, or if you had a root cellar or something where it wouldn't get hot and things like that, it would probably still be fine for a year or so. But like I said, with these hogs we got now are a lot younger than they were last year, and I don't know how big they'll get, but normally what we like to raise a hog at least 500 pounds. It's really hard to be able to scald something that big. You'd have to have a big tub and a lot of people to help move that thing around. So we'll probably just stick with the skinning method.
I don't think these will be that big this year.
No, these probably won't make it that big.
But it makes for better meat because it's not as tough.
Yeah. The only thing though is to have good fat back, you got to have a big hog. That's really where you get that thick, nice fat back from. And the fat back does come out better if it is scalded where it still has the skin on. But we didn't have a way to do that, so it is what it is on that. But yep, that's right, Kurt. Another thing, last year it was no problem finding small hogs to get to raise. A lot of people had them for sale and everything. This year, not so much. It's been a lot of people looking for them, and a lot of people that sold all they had, and the ones that did have some for sale wanted a tremendous amount for it. They want $100 a piece for a 30-pound pig, and that is just ridiculous, especially as high as feed is. But we ended up, a neighbor up the road that we've known gave us a good deal on these, and we were able to get them. But we're thinking about, we've got, two males that's been cut, and then we got three females at the bunch. And we're thinking about possibly keeping one of the females to breed with and get a boa hog sometime in the future, build another pen, everything we need to do for that, and a birth and stall and stuff, because pigs are really hard to raise, I've heard. Some of the mamas will eat the babies and they'll lay on them and mash them to death and stuff. So, maybe something we get into as we have time to research it more and get more prepared for it. But just something to keep in mind, because I'd like to be able to raise our own and not have to worry about it, because next year we may have the same problem not being able to find any, or if we do find them, they might be $120 instead of $100 next year. Yeah, Sherry. The buddy we were talking about earlier that helped us with the hog slaughter and stuff, he goes there doing a lot of those wild hog hunts.
And he smokes his and lives in Penguin.
Hmm.
I'm not sure the process of how he does it, but he does scald his. It doesn't.
Mm-hmm. No, he don't scold. He's cute.
Well, let's check with him on it.
Yeah. But he cans a lot of meat too and everything. We did that stew. It had everything in it. He's a big hunter. That's what he lives for. We had bear and squirrel and deer and all the woodland creatures in that stew.
Any question on what was in the stew, just look at the tree. And he was skinning it, putting it in the stew. Directly from the carcass. Definitely got to try a lot of meat.
Yeah, Kurt. They will do that, and it doesn't matter which hen sets it as long as they're setting, because when the babies are little, the mom will kind of protect them a little bit, but they have to eat and drink on their own. They don't nurse off of them like normal animals, so it doesn't matter who sets them as long as they're set. It'll be all right. We didn't have too much luck with the ones setting and raising them and everything like that, so we went to the incubators, and it's definitely been a lot easier and a lot better success having it controlled like that. That way you don't have to worry if maybe they quit setting for a day or whatever. It's good to go. We got the incubators that keep it a certain temperature, and they have the egg turners already in there, so everything works out pretty good.
Our mom has got mean also.
Yeah, they do.
Even if they sat on them and hashed them, and then we removed them because they wouldn't continue to sit on them to keep them warm, they still get really aggressive and they won't get around the children. So we ended up doing away with those, processing them, and it just seems like a lot better.
Yeah. Hey, cat lady. Good to see you in here. Yeah, that's right, Kurt. As a matter of fact, we got some out there that's sitting now, since we haven't been running the incubator, we're just kind of, let nature take its course and see how it goes and all. But last week, we had a big black snake in there that we had to deal with. This thing had to be a king snake. It was like 6 foot long, and it didn't get the eggs. It went straight to the chickens. And I'm not talking the baby chickens. I'm talking about a chicken that tall, half grown, and it done killed it and trying to swallow it. It done swelled there that big around trying to swallow it. But we had to deal with that, and I don't think he'll be visited anymore. Cat lady, sorry to hear that they're sick. Hope everything gets better and all of that. And hopefully you're doing well too. I know you hadn't been feeling good. But yeah. Which it's pretty good, I think, because that's the first one we've seen in the 2 years of doing this now. But I'm sure they've come by and got an egg or two here and there. But that's the first one we've seen. Anyway, it is what it is. It's part of farming. Yeah, cat lady, I'm sorry to hear that. I didn't know that. Like I said, I hadn't been able to be on YouTube very much lately, but we'll definitely be praying about that. Yes, rough stuff.
So the male hogs are a lot easier to come by than the females. Price obviously have grown. One at the market this past week went for $17, is that right?
Yeah, went for pretty much nothing. But I don't know if I'd have wanted to buy that one anyway. He weighed 666 pounds.
And then they said that he had never been with Sam.
Yeah.
But
Thank
he's
you
not
or
the only
something.
one that has been through that has been full grown and sold for such a low price.
Especially this time of year, because a lot of people only want to buy them to raise and kill in the winter, and they don't want to feed them that long either. But anyway, we went a little bit over 2 hours now. I guess we'll go ahead and wrap it up, get ready to hit the bed, and all that fun stuff. Yep, Kurt's getting ready to get out of here. But I appreciate everybody being in and following and supporting and everything, even though I hadn't been here very much lately. And hopefully we can get back on schedule now and be able to stream on Monday nights again at 9 p.m. And hopefully every one of y'all out there has a good week. And we'll see you next time. And stay prayed up, prepped up, and strapped up. See you.